Good day, class. I am teacher Jean Dungog, and you are my student. For today's lesson, we will dig deeper, focusing on social emotional disorder and chronic illnesses. By exploring these challenges, we can better understand how they affect students' learning and social life. This will help us learn how to support your classmates and make our classroom a more caring place. So you are free to ask questions or share thoughts during the discussion. This is your chance to learn from each other and clear up any misconception. To help us focus our learning today, these are the goals we hope to accomplish by the end of the lesson. So at the end of the lesson, the students will be able to analyze the impact of common social emotional disorders and chronic illnesses on peers, learning, and social interactions in the classroom. Next is demonstrate effective communication, empathy, problem solving, and collaboration skills to support and include peers with social emotional disorders and chronic illnesses in the classroom. Lastly, develop a positive attitude by valuing and respecting individuals with social emotional disorders and chronic illnesses. So, what is social emotional disorder? Social emotional disorders are psychological conditions that affect students' ability to regulate emotions, interact socially, and control behavior in a school environment. So, these challenges can lead to difficulties in participating in class, forming positive relationship with peers and teachers, and managing stress or frustration during learning activities. So to make it simpler, learners with social emotional disorders are problems that make it hard to handle their feelings, get along with others, or control their behavior at school. So this can make it difficult for them to join class activities, make friends, or stay focused on, in performing school. So now let's move on to different types. So the first one, we have the emotional behavioral disorder or EBD. So this refers to conditions in which students experience significant difficulties with emotions and behaviors that affect their ability to learn and get along with others. So this is when a student's emotion and behavior are very different from what is considered normal and acceptable. So we have here the characteristics of EBT. First, we have the emotional difficulties. That means frequent sadness or depression, intense fears or anxieties, mood swings. And the next one, we have behavioral challenges. It is aggressive or disruptive behavior, acting out, especially when frustrated, breaking rules often. Next, we have the social struggles, troublemaking or making or keeping friends, withdrawal from classmates, and difficulty understanding social cues. Next is academic impact. So trouble focusing, staying on task, poor academic performance, frequent absences or refusal to participate. And the last one, we have low self-esteem, negative self-talk, example, I can't do anything right, giving up easily, and avoiding new or challenging tasks. Okay, so instead of judging their behavior, we should try to understand what they might be going through, including them being a good friend, helps them feel accepted and supported in the classroom. Next is the second type of the social emotional disorder is anxiety attack. And an anxiety attack is a sudden feeling of intense fear or worry. It can happen quickly and may be caused by stress or overwhelming thoughts. So anxiety attacks are real and serious. Even if we can't see them, anxiety attacks can feel overwhelming and frightening to the person experiencing them. So it is important not to dismiss or make fun of someone who goes through this. So showing patience and offering simple kindness, like a calm voice or asking if they're okay, can make a big difference. So here are the common symptoms of anxiety attack. First, we have trouble breathing, fast heartbeat, sweating or shaking, dizziness, or feeling like something bad is going to happen. The third one is depression. So depression is a mental health condition that causes a person to feel very sad, hopeless, or tired for a long time. It's more than just feeling down for a day or two. It affects how a person thinks, feels, and acts every day. So depression is not just feeling sad. It's a real struggle that affects how someone thinks, feels, and lives every day. So it is important to remember that those going through depression need kindness, patience, and understanding, not judgment. Even small gestures of support can help someone feel less alone and more hopeful. So let's be gentle and caring to those who are fighting this silent battle. Let's now move on to obsessive compulsive disorder, or OCD. So this is when a student has repeating thoughts and feel the need to do certain actions again and again. So OCD, or obsessive compulsive disorder, means having worries or thoughts that won't go away and feeling like you have to do certain things over and over to feel calm. So for example, a student might keep checking if they wash their hands properly or feel like they have to arrange their things perfectly before starting class. So people with OCD have strong worries that make them repeat actions to feel safe. So their behaviors help them manage anxiety. So it is important to be patient, kind, and understanding instead of judging. Small acts of support can help them feel accepted. Finally, we have the bipolar disorder. So it is a mental health condition that causes extreme mood changes. A person with bipolar disorder may go from feeling very happy and full of energy, called mania, to feeling very sad or hopeless, called depression, sometimes quickly or sometimes over weeks. So mania is talking fast, having lots of energy, little need for sleep, making risky decisions, whereas depression, feeling tired, sad, hopeless, and loses interest in things. So these mood swings can affect a person's thoughts, behavior, school performance, and relationship. So, all right, those are the social emotional disorders. Do you have any questions or clarifications? Okay, if none, let's move on to the second part, which is the chronic illnesses. Are we all good? Yes, very good. So let's proceed to chronic illnesses. So what is a chronic illnesses? So it is a health condition that stays for a long time, sometimes for life. So it can make learning more difficult, not because the student lacks of intelligence, but because they may often feel tired, be in pain, or need special care. Here are the common chronic illnesses some learners may have. First, we have asthma. Okay, asthma is a long-term illness that affects the lungs and make it hard to breathe. It can cause coughing, sneezing, chest tightness, and shortness of breath, especially during exercise, cold weather, or when exposed to dust or smoke. So to make it simpler, asthma is a condition that make it hard to breathe. It happens when the airways in the lungs get tight or swollen. So this can cause coughing, wheezing, shortness of breath. People with asthma may use medicine like an inhaler to help them breathe better. So here are the following symptoms of asthma. First, we have coughing, especially at night. It mostly occurs at night or after exercise. Wheezing, a whistling sound when breathing. Shortness of breath, feeling like you can't get enough air. Chest tightness, like something is squeezing your chest. Next, we have diabetes. So, diabetes is a health condition where the body has trouble controlling the amount of sugar in the blood. So, normally, our bodies use a hormone called insulin to help move sugar from the food we eat into our cells for energy. But in people with diabetes, either the body doesn't make enough insulin or doesn't use it properly. So this causes high blood sugar levels, which can lead to health problems if not managed. So diabetes means your body can't control sugar properly. So you need to be careful with food, check your sugar levels, and sometimes take medicine or insulin. So the common signs of diabetes is feeling very thirsty all the time. Next, we have frequent urination, blurry vision. This is common, slow healing of cuts or sores, feeling very tired or weak, and dry or itchy skin. So let's move forward to epilepsy. So epilepsy is a brain condition that causes seizures. So a seizure happens when there is a sudden burst of electrical activity in the brain. So this can make a person shake or move uncontrollably, stare blankly for a few seconds, fall down, and not be aware of what's happening. So epilepsy is more than just having seizures. It can affect a student's confidence, focus, and social life. So people with epilepsy may feel scared, embarrassed, or different, especially if others don't understand their condition. So that's why it is important to treat them with kindness and respect. Instead of staring or making fun, we should be ready to help and support them. A calm, caring classmate can make them feel safe, included, and accepted. So understanding their condition is the first step of showing true friendship. Last but not the least, we have the allergy. So allergy is a condition where the body reacts to something that is usually harmless, like dust, pollen, food, or pet hair. So when someone has an allergy, their immune system sees these things as threats and causes symptoms like sneezing or runny nose, itchy eyes or skin rashes, swelling, breathing problems in severe cases. Some allergies can be mild, but others can be serious and need medical help. So allergies happen when the immune system overreacts to things called allergens, such as pollens from flowers or trees, dust mites, animal hairs like cats or dogs, certain foods like peanuts, eggs, or seafoods, insect stings, medicines, and lastly, the latex. So students with these conditions need our understanding. With the right help, we can still do well in class. Now, do you have any questions and clarifications regarding on our topic for today? Okay, then that's good to hear. So class, today we explored an important topic that all future educators should be aware of learners with social emotional disorders and chronic illnesses. So understanding chronic illnesses and social emotional disorders is essential for us as future educators. This condition can deeply affect a student's learning, behavior, and classroom participation. By being aware, patient, and compassionate, we can create a safe, inclusive, and supportive learning environment where every student, regardless of their challenges, feels seen, valued, and capable of success. Our role goes beyond teaching lessons. It includes nurturing the whole child with empathy and care. And that could be all for our discussion. I hope you learned from our lesson.